Thank you very much, everyone. LG Performance, Landscape Performance is doing pretty good right now. All right, I've been out on my own for about 1 year. And I just want to say thanks to everybody that's helped me along this journey. I've had a great year. I'm still supported by Dave and Greg, still working with them every single day. And it's the best of both worlds. Being with TPI, Titleist, and LG Performance, I love it. My family loves it. They're over there in the corner. They get to see me all the time. All right. But I have to get something off my chest, people. This is real important. All right. This year hasn't all been roses and grandeur, if you will. This year, something kind of bad happened to me, and I want to talk about it. I lost my favorite client. All right. My favorite client of all time I lost. 4 years I've been working with this client. I'm not going to give his or her name, but it affected me to the point where I decided I think I need to talk about it because I don't know what's happened. 4 years from college, all the way up through mini tour, all the way to the main tour. This client has been with me and we've gone through a ton, an absolute ton. So what happened? Programming, got it taken care of. Biomechanics, got it taken care of. Physical assessment, got it taken care of. Everything that I needed to get done, team building. Oh yeah, we got strength coaches. We've got mental coaches. We have practice coaches. Everything is in place. Everything's going well. But the problem is that I don't have the client anymore, and I got to figure out why. So it moves me to really get to the point. I think I did everything I could do. Every single thing I think I could do. I really want to impress upon you because I think as professionals, medical, fitness, and golf instructors, we need to understand where the client goes wrong in this stuff. So my programming to me was great. Why was it great? Well, who was my mentor? He's right over there. He just introduced me, Dr. Rose, Dave Phillips. Listen, if I'm doing what they say, it can't be wrong. So I'm pretty confident that what I did was awesome. So let's just understand that I lost my client. It's done. It's done and over with. So I fly to Sydney last year to teach a seminar with my good friend Dennis McDade. And I get off the plane after 2,500 hours, and I go right to the golf course because it's the Australian Masters, or the Australian Open. I don't know which one it was. But all I know is Adam Scott and Rory McIlroy played in the final group. Rory makes a 17-footer to win the thing in front of about 25,000 people. But the cool thing was this. When I got to the range, Dennis was in his glory. He was a peacock. He was on the range with 6, 7, 8 players talking to him. Good day, mate. Good day, mate. Good day, mate. Going down the line. I was like, oh, this is cool. I go, Dennis, you really impressed me. I'm really impressed with this. So, and he looks at me. He goes, mighty, mighty, mighty. He goes, get your hand off it, matey. Listen. He goes, I've been fired 13, 14 times in my life. I was like, what? He goes, and he told me the most important piece of information. If you're not willing or prepared to get fired in this business, you're in the wrong business. And at the time, I was like, whatever, I'm never getting fired. I'm Lance Gill. There's no chance. You fired me, you fired Titleist. That means you fired Greg Rose. All right, you fired Wally Uline. Go ahead, do that. I doubt it. But it happened. It absolutely happened. And it left me in a little bit of a, what I call a quandary. Has anybody gotten fired in this room by your client? Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of us have. So ultimately, I sat there, you know, disheveled basically, because I got the alert when I got off a plane, and it was on an email. I got fired by email. Talk about social media. Fired on email. And my dad was right next to me. If that doesn't make matters worse, you get fired, your dad thinks you're really good, really important in this community, this business. You get off the phone, he goes, did you just get fired? I said, yeah, I think so. It's pretty humbling. I was in a really, really interesting state. So naturally, I had to figure out what happened next. So what happened next was interesting. 5 different things happened next. Number 1, of course, denial. All right, I had to be in denial. I said, you fired me? Why? What the heck? That did not happen. That did not happen. This email I just read is not there. All right, what's the second stage? Anger. Anybody knows me that I I get angry every once in a while, just a tad. So I was very angry. There's no chance you just fired me after all the work I've done for 4 years, 3 of which were free. 3 of which were free for the love of the game, free. There's no chance this is happening. Well, it was happening. All right, so I was in the anger stage for a good 4 months, I think. 4 months, holy moly. Then I got into the bargaining stage. That's the 3rd phase for all you gurus out there. Bargaining, I was starting to say, well, you know, maybe I just didn't put enough time into it. Maybe I should have focused a little bit more on this. I was trying to, maybe my player just wasn't there enough. Maybe they weren't on social media enough. A lot of different things I was thinking about bargaining. Then I went to the 4th stage. 4th stage is what? It's the fun one. Depression, regret, sadness. I started feeling sad for myself, like, oh my gosh, I regret not spending enough time. I regret not communicating well enough. I really feel sad about this. I was taken away from a family of not just a player, but their caddy, their family, and the rest of our team. Our mental coach, swing coach, short game coach, everybody, taken right out by an email. So I was very sad. I had a lot of regrets. Here's one. I regret that you fired me, all right? I regret that you're such a pompous ass that you fired me. But that's not really a regret. What was that? That was me regressing back to stage 2. Oh, crap. I got all the way back to stage 2 again. Now I have to deal with anger again. So basically, stage 5. What is stage 5? Acceptance. Oh yeah, we all know stage 5. I don't. I have not gotten there yet. I'm a little bit sad about this. So I'm not in stage 5. Greg knows this very well. How many times have I reached stage 5, Greg? Exactly. So I know what I have to work on. But I think I've pretty much succinctly brought up the whole story here. But then the hammer came crashing down, even worse. Like it was bad enough. I worked back from stage 2 to 3, did a little more bargaining, did a little more depression. My friends know that. And then the hammer comes down. Hey, Lance, it's okay. We're not working together anymore. Here it comes. But we're still friends. Really? Really? I expect to hear that from some of you in this room, but not from my tour player. I mean, come on, we're friends. So, where'd I go? Stage 2 again. Back to stage 2. Now I'm angry. So I keep going through these cycles, keep going. I'm like, what is going on here, people? So ultimately, if you know me, you know that eventually I get to a point, tipping point, where I say, stop everything. Everything has to stop. Freeze, pause, and I'm going to look at something, and that person is going to be me. Because if it happens long enough, I get slapped around long enough, I'm going to say, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. That's potential. Maybe Greg didn't teach me something. Doubtful, but it's possible. So I started thinking a little bit more. So how do people think in this modern era? Number 1, we phone a friend. We've learned that. We phone friends. I called all my close buddies. Hey, listen, I got ass candy. So what do you think? And the phone's out here. You don't deserve that. You're Lance Gill. Do you know who you are? No, I'm not wearing a name badge. Well, what I got was a lot of, support, and I loved it. I'm very thankful for that. But I didn't get the answer I wanted because I just didn't know enough about this issue. I'm not educated enough about my involvement in this issue. So I went to the internet, all right? I Googled it. How do you think I found out about the 5 stages of loss? I have no idea about those, but I learned about them quick. I learned about that, all right? I talked to a lot of people. I called my longtime favorite people up, P and Lynn, and said, this is what I'm doing, I'm basically crying. They're like, calm down. And their advice was very simple. Sometimes you're too close to the fire. You're too close to the fire. But you don't ever heed anybody's advice until it's way too late, right? That's what happened to me. And ultimately, what's the result? I lost my favorite client, okay? So that didn't suffice me enough because I'm arrogant. So I got to the lowest point about this subject that I could possibly get to. And where did I go to get my answers? No, I turned on my TV. I turned it to the Golf Channel. That's the lowest of low for me, Martin Hall, no offense. All right, you're awesome, you're great. And guess what happens on the Golf Channel? Flip it on. Oh, take a look at this player on the par 3, 165-yard hole. Jars it. This is terrible. my player gets a hole-in-one after I get fired. Oh, that's great. That's great. First ever professional hole-in-one. Surely not to do with me. That's the new swing guru. So I'm lost again. I'm back to stage 2 again. So I do the worst, most unthinkable thing possible. I go to a dark, dark place, and I do something very taboo in this world. Still, I picked up the phone, and I called a psychologist. Okay, I know, it's terrible. But in classic Lance hedge your bet fashion, I called a friendly psychologist, one that I knew was very soft-spoken, a teddy bear, if you will, Dr. Brett McCabe. I just ranted to him, Brett, this is what's going on, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, blah, 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 blah. And he says, okay, in his southern drawl, yeah, y'all making sense, y'all making sense. And so I get it all out, and Brett, tell me what I have to do. But what he said was very interesting. He said, Lance, I think you have to do this, take ownership. I said, Brett, can you repeat that? He said, you have to take ownership for your failures in this. And I said, ooh, okay. You must not have heard me, Brett. Let me start again. Guys, I have to get something off my chest. This year, I lost one of my players. Brett goes, no, I heard you loud and clear, Lance. I heard you loud and clear. But the facts are the facts. You just don't realize what's happening here. You don't understand the whole scenario of compliance. And he used the word compliance, and I said, whoa, I haven't heard that word in a long time. Smart guy. He's a doctor. Then he went on, I'd say, a 3 to 5 minute rant about compliance, and it sounded like this. Lance, compliance is delving into blah, 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 grit, blah, 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 personal resources, blah, 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 adherence, blah, 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 cortex medulla oblongata, blah, 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 princess, blah, 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 adherence. And I get done with it and say, that's an interesting talk you just gave me that I don't understand 59% of the words. But the words that I heard were compliance and adherence. Compliance and adherence. And I started to think a little bit, well, maybe I am part of the problem. Maybe I was part of the problem, I should say. And that's when I started to really do some research. But I think Brett sensed that he had overwhelmed me. And he said, okay, I'll give you 3 homework assignments. Number 1, I want you to go home and review this, the health belief model. Health belief model. Anybody in this room, this will apply to your clients, your athletes, or your patients, the health belief model. The second thing was a mirror model. Now this is self-termed. He has some more technical name, but I say the mirror model. You'll understand in a second. And the third thing he said, look up the word adherence. So I had homework to do, so I did my homework. My homework was very complex because I started looking up health belief models. It's from the 1950s. It deals with, diabetes or something, and why patients don't comply to diabetes treatments. I don't know, it doesn't apply to golf, but it did. Now, on the screen you're looking at, you saw 135 names. They have slowly disappeared, and there's only 2 names standing. The red names were clients, athletes, patients. The blue names were all of you, professionals. I want to know, where does the problem lie? Who is the problem in this industry? Is it the patients? Of course it is. Is it the clients? Of course it is. We're good at what we do, right? But the thing is, Brett learned me, he taught me that, you know what, it's not always with the clients. Even though everything is stacked against them, it's not always with them. The issue is really ours. The issue of patient, athlete, client, adherence, or compliance is ours. And that's why I'm here, because I've had to go on a long journey through those stages, up and down, up and down, up and down, to get to this point. And I think everybody in this room has a time, or a person, or a series of people that you can relate back to having some compliancy issues. Whether it's not eating right, whether it's not doing their rehab exercises, whether it's not doing their swing drills properly, practicing enough, whether it's not exercising the way you want them to. Your clients don't achieve their goals that you set for them, you set with them, and ultimately, that's a problem. What does that problem ultimately affect? Our bottom line. And that's why I'm here, because I think that this problem that I have can ultimately help us shed some light on an issue that takes away from our clients coming back, referring out to us, getting more business to us, and we can all be better. Because to my knowledge, we haven't talked about it a lot in this industry. Patient adherence, patient compliance, it's our problem. And I hope that this afternoon you can enjoy the second part of my lecture, which is going to delve into two main things. The issues that face the medical, fitness, and golf providers. How are we the problem? And then I'm also going to delve into how are the athletes, the patients, and the clients the problem? So we can see both sides of the story. Because if we understand, then we can better serve our clients can better serve us, and we can be a better a better us. Because in the end of the day, it is an us problem. Thank you very much for listening to my rant here on compliance and how I lost my athlete. But I'd like to thank my athlete very much for shining the light on this for me, because without it, I probably would have gone on thinking I was indestructible. And I'm not, but I'm proud of that. Thank you very much.